is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Middale Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. My name is Jordan Ray. Happy to be with you here at the Bricktown Brewery in Midwest City. Come to the Bricktown Brewery every Wednesday where they have half-price pizzas. So if you love their pizzas, and if you don't, you should give them a chance. It's every Wednesday. But also, you can download the Bricktown Brewery app to your phone, and you can then have an account going where you can earn points that will lead to discounts right here. Of course, we got a lot of stuff going on. There's football, basketball right now, and more here at the Bricktown Brewery. We also want to thank Tooney Buys Houses. We buy and renovate homes. We also lease and owner finance homes throughout the state of Oklahoma. Phone number to dial is 405-931-3046. Okay, let's go and get things started talking Midwest City football. And I'm happy to be joined once again by Midwest City head coach Terrell Hall. Coach Hall, it's been a few months since you've been back here live, but hey, we got you back, so very excited about that. And let's talk about game last week. So at Duncan, 40-26 was the final score. What's interesting about this game is Duncan threw some tough punches at you guys in the first half, and then I thought you guys came out with a lot of intensity in the third quarter. So what was halftime like?
Halftime was, it's us talking to our young men. Mm-hmm. Because we had some mistakes in the first half. We got a three and we punt to us and we give it right back to them. We give up a bomb right on the first play of defense. So there were some things we did to not take care of the Bombers' business. But at halftime, you make your offense adjustments, you make your defense adjustments, or talk about assignments, and then I get with them and we talk about what's expected and what we need to do. We need to clean up our game, need to play smarter, play with more intensity, and let's go play ball. Things like that. And wasn't a lot of, like I was talking to the guys today, there was no screaming and yelling. Let's go do our job. Everybody knows their job. Let's go execute it now. And they're a very good team of young men, and they came out in the third quarter and put the game away.
Yeah, it was 14-12 at halftime. And did you, at any point during halftime or pregame or during the week, you say, hey, guys, this could be for a playoff spot, an elimination game, which it turned out to be because McGinnis won. You mentioned that because they were McGinnis-MacArthur. That was 13-10 at halftime, I think. Mm-hmm. Does that get talked about? Like, hey, they would eliminate us if we lose this game.
Yeah, honestly, we, like I said, we talked to them like the young man. We're not hiding anything. They kind of let them know what's going on. I told them the playoffs started last week.
Yeah,
playoffs started last week for us. We lose another game, it's over. And it doesn't get much final than that. Yes, Matt could have beat McGinnis, and that would have, but that didn't happen. So,
right.
We were playing for, as you said, for a shot in the playoffs, and and we take nobody for granted. So the deal is we just had to come out and execute to the best of our ability.
And we knew for Duncan their quarterback was good.
Yes.
The running back was pretty good too, and he was, I thought, had some success running up the middle in the first half. And I think that is one of the things that really closed off in the second half. Was there anything strategic there going on?
No, again, assignment football. I said, just like anybody else that sees Duncan, the quarterback's the guy you have to account for. He had some passing yards on us. He hit the big one at the beginning, and then we pretty much kind of clamped down, and then we had an interception go through our hand in the fourth quarter that should have been a pick, but it turned into a touchdown for him. And but yeah, he'd shown that he could run the ball. He's shown that he ran the ball well, and he came downhill. And like I said, we had to do a better job of wrapping up and making contact with him.
Now, Tom and I were sitting by some of the coaches you have up in the booth, and coaches in the moment, heat of the moment, they don't like all the things that are going on as far as the officiating goes. And a lot of that, I think, centered around some of the pass interference calls. But that's in the moment, heat of the moment. When you look back at that, were those calls that were 50-50 in your eyes? Was there anything technique-wise? I mean, I thought that was kind of a tough PI on JoJo, who's obviously a very seasoned secondary player. So what are your thoughts there?
Well, I thought that was a 50-50 ball, his was. I mean, the one on 87 late, I thought we hooked him. I thought we hooked him, and so my deal is to have communication with the officials. Mm-hmm. No, because I know there's a lot of games I don't like very many of the calls they make. But, we want a fair game called and to the best of their ability. And, I thought they executed that. And like I said, coaches in the heat of the moment don't see it like it should be seen sometimes, or, we see it with rose-colored glasses. I mean, that's why it's always good to see. But, like I said, my job's to deal with the officials. My coach's job's to coach. And so we can discuss it, and they'll make some comments. But as a whole, we stay out of the officials' way. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, I thought as the year went on, the calls have gotten better.
Yeah.
I mean, early I didn't think it was like that. I thought, but, as it went on, I thought that the officiating's been getting better, and at least you have an understanding of what's going on. I mean, like I said, any story has a side. So you take that. But, our job is to go play ball. If we go play ball, it doesn't matter what's going on there.
And now we've seen a lot of this, what I know you told Tom was a 31 package with JoJo as the quarterback. How do you feel about that now? We didn't see a whole lot of him at quarterback against Class and SAS. It was just a different type of game. And I think he was doing a lot in special teams and defense. But, we've seen him mostly play that against McGinnis with in and out some, and a lot more against MacArthur. So how do you feel like he's evolved at that position?
Well, he's a young man that wants the ball in his hand. And, you like athletes that I want the ball in my hands when it's time to take care of business. And he played for quarterback for us as a freshman. And so he has played it, but it's been 3 years ago. You know what I mean? So what I like about it is there's more people to cover. He's always a threat, and he can throw. He proved that last week that, he threw a pretty good ball to number 5, Chance Davis. And, so to get us to get us where we need to be. So I think he continued just touched the top of the iceberg.
And the interesting thing about it, I mean, you got him and Jaheim, and, Jaheim's able to go the whole way. You don't have to take him out. Although you have a couple of good options with Christian and Deshaun. But, and I know he missed the SAS game, but, how did he look this game for this game? It seemed like he was well rested, and how do you feel about him as far as endurance and stuff like that goes heading into this week?
Talking about Jaheim?
Yes.
I think his endurance is continuing to grow. Like I said, the key is to get in better shape as it went on. I mean, last week he had 19 touches for 252 yards on our boats. So that's a pretty good tote there to go on. So, like I said, I think he's ready to go the way. But the good thing about him, we were able to give him a breather. If we'd have had this full package earlier in the year, I think our outcome would have been better some games. Because, we just had one, and we didn't really have anything else to back him up, and, didn't have another threat. Well, now, it's like I tell JoJo in practice, wherever you go, someone's going. So if you run out the backside, someone's assigned to you.
Right.
So that's going to make our plays better. So that's one of the things, we talked about. But, I think with the running backs we have and our O-line's gotten better, it's been a shuffle. It's been weird. It's been the most I've ever shuffled no line in a season, but it's just continued like who's stepping up, who's getting it done. You got your mainstays, the Joneses, of course, the two seniors, and then, you had a sophomore and a junior step in, and then, you went from a sophomore to a junior to a sophomore, senior. So it's been a hodgepodge, but they've gotten better. And I think going downhill is good for the Bombers. I know it is. I mean, because it goes back to old school football. And old school football is you'll put your nose in there twice, but will you put it in there 5 times? And if you won't, then the team that will has a better opportunity. And it shortens the game. So less defensive snaps, and as you know, we got a lot of guys playing both ways.
Right.
And that's just the way it is because they do me no good on the sideline. I need the best guys on the field.
Yeah.
But we've been playing that way all year and working to this point. So I think we're seasoned and, and ready to take the challenge.
You mentioned playing your best guys and guys playing both ways. So let's back on the defensive side. It did seem like the Jones twins were out there a lot on defense too. And, I mean, I know this is being the postseason now. This is what, you got to do. These guys got to man up, and they did, I think. So how do you feel about linemen playing both ways like the Jones twins? Could we see a lot of them, or them have a lot of snaps, I should say, this week against Carl Albert?
Well, everything's depending on the outcome of the game and how the game's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we expect them to get probably 50% of the defensive side of the snaps, maybe less. But it also depends on how long the drive is. If we have a 22-play drive or a 20-play drive, well, they're probably going to come out for a minute. Mm-hmm. And, we've got guys that are capable of playing. We just like to put the best guys out there that we can, and it depends on the moment. But, yeah, but it's nothing new for those guys. They played all year. They played both sides of the ball. We got guys getting more snaps than they did earlier or less snaps. Just depends on what the guy in front of them are doing.
And I'm kind of going back and forth here between offense and defense. So, but you mentioned the offensive line getting better. So in this 31 package, you also have 2 running backs who serve as lead blockers and a tight end. And how do you feel like – and that's we didn't see that at the beginning of the season when you went with a more 4-wide pack or something like that. How do you feel like they've progressed as far as plugging the holes, or not plugging the holes, but creating holes that they need to?
Well, they'll be setting leverage positions, either leverage inside or leverage outside. They're doing it. I think they get better every week. It's like anything else. The more you do it, the better you are at it. It isn't like they hadn't done it. We had some of this in our package last year.
Right.
And so, it's just plugging some guys in and looking at where their value is, their biggest value is on which side of the ball, and then getting snaps from the other side. Because they want to, and that's the great thing about this team and these players is what does the team need for them to do, they're willing to do. Where it hasn't always been that way. Well, if I'm not doing this, I'd rather give you no effort so you can't play me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You try to play them, and they take it out of your hands by giving you lack of effort. Well, you can't go for that. So, but this team, you got guys that have stepped up, say, I'll play. Let me in. What can I do to help the Bombers? And that's going to go a long ways for us.
All right, back to defense. Okay. Anyone score well for you guys that you want to mention that had one of their better games?
We had some guys played lights out. I brought stats. You got to go with a guy like I would take Chance Davis had 3 solos, 3 assists, and 1 interception in the end zone, and that's from the secondary position. Aiden Brown had 4 solo tackles, 2 assists, and 2 tackles for loss. So you got guys flying around. I got a pretty good sheet. Ross Jones, who played some backer, maybe in, depends on what's going on there, and edge guy. And he was 5 solos and 5 assists, with 1 tackle for loss. So you got a lot of guys flying around, and that's the good thing about it. And you got a lot of guys with 1 stat. But it depends on how many, like JoJo had 1 pass breakup. But when needed, he definitely went in and played what we needed him to take care of.
And then on special teams, it seems like you're settling in on Hayden Parent to be your not place kicker, but your kickoff guy and your punter. How you feel like he's did there, especially kickoffs? I think that's something he's been doing more recently.
It's gotten better. We're looking for consistency.
Right.
And so right now, it depends on that week in practice, but Hayden gets more air in it. And that gives us a better chance to get down the field where we need to be, so we can make sure it's not a big return. So, but he's done really good on punting. Like I said, he really stepped up, and he wasn't the guy we were thinking that was going to be the guy. So that tells you how that goes. And then you look at what you get out of it. They've been very consistent. Stepping up, I got to throw Brandon Dixon today, man. There, I don't know how I missed it. We had 2 extra point blocks.
Oh, I didn't know that. That was him, but
no.
But he's been really good on defense. Brandon Dixon, I've liked how he's played cornerback this year.
Yes, he's been very, very, very consistent. He got better as the year went on. And this is just his second year to play for us. He didn't come out till last season. Mm-hmm. So so the guys are playing well. Like I said, it's a team that cares about the team. And what we talk about, like I said, when we have our conversation, we have those conversations about the things expected from them, the things that that makes them special. You know, I tell them they're special because they play high school football.
Yeah.
You know, high school football is setting them up to be a success because they know how to show up on time, give an honest day's work, because you're going to get what you earn in life, and be a man of character. And those things will carry you. And so those are things we talk about, and then, you know, and putting your best foot forward. And these guys do a great job of that, and they care about each other.
And that's really good to hear. Now, were you ever being told the score during the game of the MacArthur-McGuinness game?
Yes, we're aware.
Yeah.
You know, I was aware at some time, but my job, you know, it doesn't matter if I didn't take care of what I did on the field there.
Yeah.
But you come into that, and yes, we were aware of it, and first of all, we're glad to be in the playoffs.
Right.
Because only 50% of the teams that go are in the playoffs, and then we're excited about our opportunities. You know, like you said, and back on talking to our young men, everybody that we lost to is in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when it comes down to it, we felt like we played. No, we don't feel like we know we played the toughest schedule.
Yeah, this was a very good district this year.
Yeah, it ended up to being. It's funny how things flop around, isn't it?
Yeah, the district, of course, was supposed to be the tough teams were supposed to be Del C and Elgin, but that would have been tough too. But this was still a very good district. So.
Yeah, it turned out to be. I mean, like I said, you had four teams. We end up fourth place, but we end up tying for second.
Yes.
Well, when you go by, McGuinness was 4-2, MacArthur was 4-2, we were 4-2 in district. So you had first place and you had a tie for second. Then went by the points, we ended up fourth. But it was very competitive. A couple of breaks here or there, and we're setting second. Yeah,
and again, the reason why I mentioned Lawton MacArthur losing to McGuinness is because that does put Midwest City at a 4 seed. So, Alicia, let's go and see the bracket. And this is how it works for Midwest City. As was mentioned, they're going to play at Carl Albert this Friday. Of course, Carl Albert's probably the team that many people that follow high school football for a living would pick to win the whole thing, as they're undefeated and play just tremendous football. The winner of this game will take on McAllister and Claremore. Coach, when we talk about this game coming up this week, first, you had Monday off for the second straight week, this time because of Veterans Day. Was that good to have that? Were you able to spend more time, maybe not physically doing stuff, maybe watching film or whatever? Were you able to get more done on Monday because of having that day off?
I felt like we had the guys around us a lot longer on a Monday. We gave them the Sunday off to make up because we just came in early on Monday with no JV or freshman game, so we had all day. And so that's what we did. I felt like, Carl Albert's going to do what Carl Albert does, until someone stops them from doing what they do. Our job is to study the film. We have plenty of film to watch. We played them week 1. So we got to go revisit that and then go, we washed Duncan out, and then we took on the next hurdle, and that's Carl Albert.
And Carl Albert, obviously, they're I don't know what's more impressive than their offense or defense, but on defense, they're obviously very quick, and they have shut down other teams' running games. So when you look at how they've done, if you get in a third and long situation, are you prepared to go back to Roman, or do you think JoJo could throw the ball more? And I know you don't want to tip your hand, but what can you say to that effect if you have to face some third and long situations, which you didn't really have to worry about against Duncan?
Well, same thing. We're going to depends on it would be depending on down and distance.
Yeah.
And we're going to do what we feel like is going to give us the biggest chance to be successful. It could be Roman, it could be JoJo, it could be someone else. We don't know, but we're going to give ourselves the best opportunity because what we've done is ball control. We've been able to control the ball and be able to move the ball, and we know it's going to be tough. But, that's what we plan on doing. And if we're going to throw it, you got to throw it because if you look up and you got an 11-man box, we've got to get you out of the box.
Yeah. And then Carl Albert on offense, they have obviously big-name receivers and stuff.
Yes.
But, the running game also could go either way with their quarterback. He's done some read option stuff, and their Ellis Simmons, their running back. What's an important challenge for your defense against that group?
Well, the biggest deal is to make them earn everything they get. Don't give up the chunk plays. Make them work the ball just like anybody else. The longer they keep the ball to work it, the more opportunities is for something to go our way. So our job is to be sound in what we do. Tackle. We have to tackle well. because the backs will come downhill and the quarterback comes downhill. So, you got to tackle well. So then play assignment football and then play hard. And the thing is, they know how. I mean, we'd like to say we've played a lot of four-quarter games. So I would think that goes to advantage Bombers as far as how many four-quarter games you've played in a season.
Yeah, and last question for you. I haven't asked you about this yet this season, but how do you feel like your JV and freshman teams went, and even middle school teams? Like, how do you feel about some of the players that haven't played varsity much, but you expect to be coming up soon?
Well, I mean, the 8th grade, I think, had one loss. 7th grade had none. And then, our freshmen, it got better. What we deal with on freshmen is, unfortunately, is eligibility.
Okay.
I mean, and we've been speaking and we continue to work on it, but, you have a pretty good squad, and then you start losing key people because they don't take care of business in the classroom. Because I equate freshmen in high school to freshmen in college.
Yeah.
You don't know how hard it is until you get there. And then you got to figure out, as a student athlete, how to succeed. And everyone has a different way to succeed sometimes, but you got to press toward succeeding, or, as in college, you won't be there very long. If you're not taking care of your grades, you're going to go home and you're going to go to work. And in high school, they miss, but I don't know how much they miss it because they hadn't gotten adjusted to what's going on. If football was second semester, I think I'd be in better shape with those guys. And then the JV JV was very solid. I mean, we were in everything I think every game, won more than we lost. So I'm pleased with those guys. We'll have some rebuilding to go on. There's some spots available. And, as the new world we got, we got to, you got to take care of the kids you have and make sure they understand that everything's important to us. And we want to keep them around. But I mean, what do you promise them? You're going to work for whatever you get, just like life?
Yeah.
I can't promise you a starting position unless you work to get the promise of the starting position. And, boy, I don't have a problem starting a freshman. If you're the best player, I'll play the best player that does what they need to do.
Well, I'll never forget first year calling your games. You had a freshman quarterback starting
true.
district play. That was quite a deal, and, fond memories.
Yes.
For that, for sure.
He continually grew, didn't he?
He sure did, yeah. It got funner and funner to call his games.
Most definitely.
All right, guys, so watch the Midwest City broadcast this week at Carl Albert this Friday night. Tom Carpenter and myself, we're looking forward to bringing it to you back at Carl Albert, a familiar place, the short drive from here. But obviously, if you're a Bomber fan in the area, please come to the game. But you can also watch the game on your phone through the OSN app. And if you can't make it, of course, watch it on your Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, all that stuff. So pregame again, 6:30, kickoff at 7, Bombers and Titans. All right, Coach, glad you could be here, and we look forward to the game. Thank you, Jordan, for having us on. And, like I said, we'd like you to come to the game and support the Bombers. We'll be all in white. We'll be white out for us. So, so if you come on out, if you can't, then OSN will be a great place to catch it. All right, thank you. Coming up, Del City football on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger's new Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double.
Sounds like a 5-alarm fire.
Not really, Frank. The jalapeno cream cheese, jalapeno ranch, and pickled jalapenos give it a pleasant heat.
So like a 4-alarm?
Nope. It's a delicious controlled blaze.
Like a little kitty stuck in a tree alarm.
Nah, hotter than that. Let's say the 2.5 alarm Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. I think the pole's broken.
New Whataburger Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. It's just a little hot.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. because your success is our success.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558. Let's go. Welcome back to the Middale Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network, right here at the Bricktown Brewery in Midwest City. Also, this is brought to you by Tooney Buys Houses. And now we get to talk Del City football with Coach Robert Jones and some of his players. Let's go ahead and show you the standings because, well, they didn't clinch the district till they played Thursday night when they beat Pryor, and now you can see Del City finishes the district play with a record of 7-0. And so also they got the full allotment of district points. So they took care of business in every game. Coach, so this is I don't know when the last time is that Del City's won district back-to-back years. Mm-hmm. Also, you got 3 out of 4 years where you've won district. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. This senior class has really worked hard, bought into what I was preaching when I took the job. And, that was my first class that was there as freshmen. They really bought into what I brought to the table with CDEP and how I wanted to change the character and change the community of Del City. Ever since I've been in elementary, in middle school, and as a high school football player and as a college football player, and even in coaching in Texas, I always knew Del City had athletes, but that, in my opinion, they just lacked the character and discipline to have successful programs. And it's a blessing to be part of the movement that we have going on right now, and we got to continue to do it. It's a daily battle to get these young men to understand that discipline and character is why we're successful. It's not just talent, because it's always been talent here. So for these young men to be able to buy into that mentality and to be able to go out in the field and have the success they're having and have the success they're having off the field, it shows that you could change a community and you could change a school through character building. We want to continue to do that because that's a strong testament to get 3 out of my first 4 years to win 3 district titles. That's a big testament. But our ultimate goal is to win a state championship. So that's our first goal, is to win a district championship. So we got to get focused and stay humble and continue to take the strides and continue to do things so we can get to that next goal.
Well, you already mentioned the seniors, and that was going to be one of my questions. Because it was senior night, and they didn't have a chance to ask you last week, but this is the group that's been with you, most of them, since your first year as the head coach. Mm-hmm. So anything else you could say about this group? Because it's a very deep and talented group.
Yes, it's a very talented group. Man, it was hard work. They're very talented, but they put in the work in the summer. They put in the work in the off season, running track, doing powerlifting, and accepting and taking hard coaching. Hard coaching is what got us here, and it's all about accepting it and knowing that everybody has. When we first started, we haven't talked about it a lot, but it was one family, one mission. So the mission was to make everybody great and be the best person you could be every day. And I think that we accomplished that a lot just because everybody's bought into the same goal. And these young men have accepted the coaching. They accepted the hard work that you have to put in the off season and in the summer. And it's a talented senior group. We got, we got a couple young. We got Deshaun McAllister here. You got Quaylen Goodman, Jarvis Kelly, Tate Johnson, Chauncey Jones, Shane Thornton, and it's a couple more I probably left off just because I don't know it right off the top of my head. But all those seniors just bought into what we were preaching, and they put a lot of hard work behind it and played in a lot of big football games. And we lost some and we won some. So I'm just proud of them because they set the tone for a lot of years to go. And hopefully when they come back in 20 years, they can be proud of what they put down and the foundation they set. Hopefully their kids can play here. I seen Coach Rose do it at Carl Albert, and I hope that I'm building the same foundation that can lead us to a championship and more championships to come.
Okay, so last week, and you talked about how because Del City was hit by the tornado from a couple days earlier, you chose not to have practice.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and of course it was because, like you said, there are more important things in football.
Yeah.
But then you had the challenge of the game moving up a day to Thursday. Yeah. What was that? And I'm not saying like that made it wrong to cancel practice, but what was that challenge like preparing your freshman quarterback, who we're going to talk to in a bit, and in other parts of the game, not having practice Monday and then turning around and playing on Thursday night? What was that challenge like?
Well, it was definitely a challenge, but when you prepare the way we do and the way we practice and the way I coach and the way the preparation leads to success. We prepare so hard throughout the year that 2 days of practice is not going to be a difference maker when you get to the championship game. I know a lot of coaches stress about that, and they feel like one day could be the difference. I just didn't feel like that was going to be the difference. I feel like these young men have been preparing since last January. So if we have to miss a day or two before the championship game and we can't go out there and still be successful, what does that say about our foundation? What does that say about our culture? So I knew we had the culture, and I knew we had the kids that have bought into it to be able to withstand any type of challenge. So it was a challenge, but I knew that our culture was built for those type of challenges, so I really wasn't stressing about it. And obviously it showed because we had a great night. So these young men are built for challenges. They're built for whatever adversity comes our way. Win or lose, I feel like they're going to be ready for whatever comes their way as far as challenges.
Let's go and bring in these players here.
Yes,
so we know two of them, Deshaun McAllister and Caleb Blackwolf. Talk about this young man sitting by you, though, because he had quite a night.
Yes, Sincere Overton. Makes me want to pull my hair out sometimes. He definitely is a freshman. He stresses me out, but he has a lot of mature intangibles. He has a lot of things that make him a great player. He's really stepped it up. There's not a lot of you're 14, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's 14. He acts like it sometimes, but but in all seriousness, to be 14 and step up in that type of game, I seen it last week versus Claremore, the week prior versus Claremore, to be able to step in and make some of the throws and make some of the plays he made in that game versus Claremore. He gave me all the confidence that he could do it versus prior. But that was a historical game. For that to be a district championship and to come out and throw for 260 yards and run for 130, that's just a testament of what type of athlete he is. And I just go back to the preparation. He's been preparing all year. I've been coaching him hard all year. We had a conversation Friday, and I said, hey, now you see what all the hard coaching was for. Because, it's coach talk, but you always tell kids, be ready when your name's called. You got to prepare because you never know when your name's going to be called. Well, his name was called, and it was called in the most opportune time for our program. It was called in the most opportune time for these seniors. It was called in Claremore. That wasn't a district championship, but we had to win that to put ourselves in a position for prior. Yes. So with the weather and the delay and all those things, for him to be able to go out there and execute the offense and be able to make those plays, it just shows what kind of character he has, and it shows that he has a real bright future if he can keep his head on straight and take the coaching like he needs to. I think sky's the limit for him. So I'm proud of him for being a 14-year-old and stepping up in that type of moment.
Okay, Sincere, how long have you been playing quarterback?
Basically my whole life.
So you've been training for this since you started playing football, basically?
Yes, sir.
And how did that come about that you started playing quarterback? Was that just the position you gravitated to? Did you have people in your life that say, hey, I think you can do this? Or how did it go?
I originally played corner, like when I first started, but then like the team I played for needed a quarterback. So I went out there and played quarterback, and I've been doing it my whole life. I just continued because I knew that was the best position for me.
So you've been practicing throwing the football for a long time then?
Yes, sir.
And you've been doing this, obviously, did you go to Del City Middle School?
Yes, sir.
So you've been doing quarterback for the middle school teams, 7th grade, 8th grade, and all that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have someone who, like a lot of quarterbacks have like a personal coach? Who've you been leaning on to prepare you, like in the off season and stuff like that?
I would say my coach, Coach Donovan Dan, and Quinlan Ganther.
Yeah. Didn't you train with Jason White?
Yeah, and Jason White too.
Trained a little bit with Jason White.
the Heisman Trophy winner from
Yeah,
Tuttle?
from OU, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's what were some things he showed you?
Like quickening my steps for a quick game, and then like getting deeper into my drop when we're doing, like I said, if it's a deeper pass,
Yeah.
and being more on balance and stepping into my throws and stuff like that.
Okay, and you guys don't even know, but back in 03, 04, Jason White, I mean, you
I
played against him.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He could throw it.
Yeah,
He could throw
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
Didn't have the best knees at that point, but he could throw it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this year, I assume you're the JV quarterback, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was that like when you first started to get meaningful action at the varsity level? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was kind of nervous. I was worried about like what would happen if I mess up or how much it was going to cost us.
Okay, but then you were really thrown to action last week against or at Claremore, and I know you had some big throws in that game, right? And
Yes,
what was that like going through that? I assume that to give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence because coming into the game, I didn't think I was going to play.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then Cash went down, so I knew I had to step up and be a leader and finish the game out, get the win for us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then what was your mentality heading into that game? Did you take a lot of snaps during those 2 days of practice, and when did you find out you're going to start?
Yeah, I took snaps to prepare for the game because like it would be my first or second time actually starting for like a district championship because it never happened before. So I had to be locked in for the 2 days of practice that we had, be coachable, be disciplined, and just take the coaching. You know.
Well, Coach, when did you tell him he was starting?
He knew Monday.
Okay.
I mean, we just knew, we knew that we're looking at a long-term goal, and we knew that Cash was really hobbled, and we knew the severity of his injury. We knew that we weren't going to be ready by prior, so we felt like we have the team, we have the leadership, we have the talent, and Sincere is a very talented young man that everybody got to see last Friday night, last Thursday, but we already knew that, so we knew that we wanted to give Cash some time to let the ankle heal and get ready for the playoffs, so we told him Monday that you're going to be the guy, you got to step up, and he did that, and he prepared like he was supposed to.
Okay, actually, if you could go ahead and give Deshaun one, and I'm going to have Sincere, if you could give the headset to Caleb. Let's talk to these two veterans here. Deshaun, I thought this was, and Coach, you can comment on this too, the Pryor was the best passing team you guys played against at Edmond Memorial. Was that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
That quarterback was very good.
Yeah.
He was slinging it with that left hand of his.
Yeah, he tested Jashana and DeMarin a lot. They haven't been tested all year, Jashana and DeMarin, and I feel like he really put them on their toes all game. He really put them in situations that's going to help them in the future as we progress in the playoffs by attacking them. A lot of people don't come at those two guys because they know their experience and their talent level, but I feel like he really put them in positions that helped them grow because there was a lot of teachable moments for both of those guys, DeMarin and Jashana.
And then Deshaun, what was it like for you, that challenge of playing against defending the pass a lot, and how would you say you did coverage-wise?
Coverage-wise, it was a rough game, but at least we got the win. And then, what was the first question you asked?
Well, just how do you feel like you did playing the pass more often than you normally do?
It was fun to me because I got to do something new instead of making tackles. I had to guard people.
And Caleb, I don't know how much you were playing on defense, but when you were in, what was that challenge like? Because again, not very many teams you played against since Edmond Memorial wanted to throw the ball against you guys, but they were willing to.
Yeah, he starts on defense, so he played the whole game.
So so you're the other safety then. So these are basically the two safeties
these
here.
two safeties, yep.
Okay. What was that challenge like then Thursday night?
It felt great. It was a rough start at the beginning, but we just picked it up from there.
And what are some things like you can say you had to work on this game that maybe not as much, as far as technique, or was it just making sure you played deep enough? Was it reading the quarterback? What are some technique things that you guys had to do well?
Play deep a lot lately.
All right. Deshaun, same with you?
Yeah.
Now, Deshaun, I know you had I will mention this because, you've made a lot of plays, but there was one time that you had to tackle their number 27, and it was hard to do. Let's just say. Do you remember what play I'm talking about?
Yeah, the tackle he missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember.
What was that like as far as did you feel like, hey, he just made a good play, or do you feel like he should have done something different?
I try to go for the strip. I should have made just that tackle.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was just a physical player. That's when I saw what he did, I was like, okay, that's Deshaun McAllister. He broke a tackle for. He must be a pretty strong dude.
Usually, Deshaun makes those tackles. Like he said, he went for the strip. Probably should have hit him low and wrapped his legs and run his feet.
Yeah, and then Caleb starting on defense, and I think I feel like you've got an increase of handoffs, although Rickland got a lot of handoffs in this game for sure.
Yeah.
But as a running back, how have you gotten more comfortable throughout the season?
At first, I didn't know the plays, but when I kept knowing them and learning them, I got more comfortable with the plays.
Well, it's amazing you're a sophomore, but it seems like you're just so tough to tackle. Like the man among boys saying applies to you. Do you feel that? Do you feel like, even though you're getting hit by some juniors and seniors, it doesn't mean much to you? Not that it doesn't mean much to you, but it doesn't bring you down. It feels like you're able to handle that.
Yes, sir.
And how many pick sixes do you have this year? Back to defense here.
3.
3. That's a lot for one player to have.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Nah, I don't got a favorite.
Now,
Deshaun, you gotta have one. We ain't gonna let you off that easy.
I ain't got no favorite, coach.
It's not one that stands out.
Nah.
When was your last one? Who was that against?
Collinsville.
Collinsville. Okay, well that's a big one.
It was Tahlequah. Didn't he get one versus Tahlequah?
I got one versus Collinsville too.
Yeah, but the last one. Your last one was Tahlequah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then Tahlequah is a team that just missed the playoffs. So, but was that like, I don't know? It has to be quite a thrill because defenses don't normally score, but you guys have scored a lot of points on defense, right?
Yes, sir.
And Deshaun, have you had a touchdown on defense?
Yeah, against Tulsa Memorial.
Okay.
Yeah, one. Did you have one called back? I feel like you had one and it got called back. We don't have so many. We've been blessed this year with some pick sixes, but I
think that was Caleb.
Okay.
All right. And then Caleb, do you have to ever lobby to get back in the game of running back? Because Rickland played really well running back too. He had some good runs. But do you have to lobby to get back in, or do you wait your time?
I wait my time. When he's tired, they tell me to go in, I go in for him.
We rotate series with him, especially with Miles being out right now. He's dealing with an injury, so we just rotate them series. Caleb goes the one series and Rickland go one series. But if we have a long drive, obviously they'll let us know when they're tired and winded, and we'll get those guys in there. But they're both thoroughbreds, and they've been handling the load the last couple of weeks, and I'm proud of them for that.
All right, and Coach, I want to go back to something that happened in the game, the weather delay.
Yeah.
What led to that? I mean, I was at the Carl Albert game, and they had that too.
Yeah.
Well, we noticed it with your game first. And I think it led to a short halftime.
Yeah.
So, and you guys had like an hour break or something?
Yeah, it was 90 minutes.
An hour and a half?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And basically treat that like halftime, or did you do anything different? Because it was a longer break.
Man, you treat it it's a unique experience because it's something that you don't deal with often. It's the longest delay I've ever been in, especially in a championship game. There were discussions that the game may be canceled, that it may be delayed, not delayed, but just canceled. And I didn't want that. I wanted those kids to be in that moment, to be in a championship type environment, especially with the way our games have been going all year. And that was a challenge at that moment. They were giving us everything that we can handle. And I wanted our kids to have that challenge and have to go earn the district championship. I really didn't want to have the game postponed and us win by the delay because we were up, the postponed game because we were up. I wanted us to go get it the old-fashioned way by rolling up your sleeves and going to work and hitting people and tackling and running the ball and catching. I didn't want to go have somebody hand us the championship. So I'm glad that, we were able to work through that, and I'm glad that the weather gave us the rest of the evening to be able to take care of that. And it's crazy because we would have played Friday, we wouldn't even have a delay. That's Oklahoma for you.
Yeah.
So, I felt that in my stomach when we rescheduled. I said, watch Friday not have any weather issues. Of course, it rained, but Friday didn't even have any lightning and thunder to where it was delayed. So, but it was a challenge to be in there for 90 minutes and be sitting around and just waiting, not knowing what's going to happen. But I feel like the kids responded correctly when we got back out there, and that's what's most important. So if we get in that situation again, they will have some experience to where they're able to handle it and go out and have some success on the field.
Now, right before that delay, your team did have a penalty.
Yeah.
And that kept you from scoring a touchdown because you had it inside the 1.
Yeah.
Did you use that to talk to your team about it, or?
Oh yeah, we used it all right. Rickland Holmes, it was uncharacteristic action by him. He's a captain. Yeah. We had some bonehead penalties by captains. Jashawn made a couple bonehead penalties. That's not who we are. That's not what we preach. Thankfully, we were able to overcome that. But if we don't learn from that and make the correct changes, we're going to end up having a situation where we're going to have some regretful moments because of that. So we're on the 1-yard line, and Rickland actually makes the wrong cut. If he makes the right cut, he scores.
Yeah.
He made the wrong cut, and somebody grabbed his ankle, and he used some language that you're not supposed to use, and they gave us a personal foul. Now you back us up to the 15. At that time, we were about to go up 28-6.
Yep.
And I think that changes the whole momentum of the game. Then you put us on the 15-yard line with a freshman quarterback, and everybody knows when you get into that goal line atmosphere and you get kind of in there, everything gets condensed, and it's just tougher to score because the defense could be a little bit more aggressive in the blitz game. They could do a little bit more things in coverage and play a little bit tighter than they normally would. So we end up not scoring. When we came back out, we ended up not scoring. That gave them the momentum. They went down and scored. So Rickland needs to learn that could be a game-changing type mistake, and he needs to know that we're not going to allow that type of behavior. We're not going to allow that type of language. That's not who we are, and he learned from it. He apologized to me. He apologized to the team. So it was a great growing moment for him to be able to know that you can't use that kind of language regardless of how great of a player you are.
Let's talk about a positive play.
Yes, sir.
So long pass play, and Coach, I know you've been talking to me a few years about trying to get your tight ends involved.
Man.
And then it happened, and I had to go rewind it to look. Was this a tight end that Sincere was throwing to? And it was. Yeah. Javante Nikwe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but Sincere, I'll ask you about it first because you had to really thread that ball in there for the defensive player. Was close, but not close enough, and that ended up springing Javante for a touchdown. What did you see on that play?
I seen it was only one safety, and he was in the middle. So I knew he couldn't guard 2 seam routes at the same time. So I looked him off to my right. As soon as he turned his hips, I went back the other way and hit Nikwe.
And, Coach, the announcers talked about how excited you were. You had to be excited to get a tight end, hit the tight end for a long touchdown like that.
Man, we've been waiting on that for a long time. Our tight end can be a very dangerous weapon if we utilize it right. And you don't want to have empty calories on the field. So I feel like we utilize tight end formations a lot, but we never get on the ball. So to be able to I think the last time we actually threw a tight end the ball and he caught it was for Coweta last year. And it's crazy because that was for the district championship. When we won that game, we clinched the district title. So to be able to have that moment right there and to see a freshman, I talked to him about looking off safeties and that, to have him look that safety off and to thread it in there, because when he threw it at the first, I thought it was about to be an interception. So for him to thread it in there and for Nikwe to make that play, I was very excited just to get that moment, because that's going to end up being a crucial weapon for us, the tight end position. If we continue to use him, it opens up a lot of things for us on the outside and in the running game. So I was very excited about that.
And Sincere, was there a particular play, another throw you made where, you had to read the defense? I know you had a deep pass to Mashawn Graham.
Yes.
What was that? What were you able to do well? What do you feel like you're able to do well in plays like that?
Look at the corner and see how he's playing. We had we had like out fade concept with it, and the corner, he seen that I kept hitting the out, so I seen him. He backpedaled and he act like he was backpedaling, and he played the out. So I just led Marshawn.
Yeah, an unbelievable throw. I mean, you got an arm to you,
yes, sir,
and you can run. Okay, Jashawn, what did you do during that hour-and-a-half break? Did you stay in pads, or how do you stay relaxed? Because I know you're a hyper guy, so you want to be moving, but you had to take a break.
I took my pads off and just relaxed until we got it back out there.
All right, let Caleb talk here. Caleb, what about you? How'd you stay involved during the 90-minute break?
I took my pads off and I just stretched and drank some Pedialyte.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at Del City's bracket. And here we go. So they're going to play or host Shawnee this Friday, and then they're going to play the winner of McGinnis and Lawton the following week if they beat Shawnee, and that would be an interesting matchup if that happens. Obviously, the thing to talk about with Shawnee, Coach, is you're being reunited with Jason Madonna.
Yeah. Pretty cool experience to be able to coach against one of your counterparts, you know, your old offensive coordinator, ex-teammate. You know, we were teammates at Carl Albert. So to be able to coach against him in this type of game, it's exciting. That's why you get into the sport. That's why you get into coaching. We know each other very well. There's going to be a lot of chess pieces going on out there, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table, and I'm excited to show him what I bring to the table and see each other on opposite sidelines. We've been in a lot of battles on the same sideline, so it's pretty cool to go against each other. It's cool, you know. Me and Coach Dunn have some battles, so to have another counterpart that you coach with and be able to battle against is a pretty cool experience. We do run similar offensive schemes, but it's totally different. But he knows my mind and what I like to do. He knows our defensive system, so it's an exciting challenge for us and the players to see if we can go out there and take care of business when someone knows your schemes and they know how you think. They still got to go out and stop it. So I like to see how we react to it, coaches and kids, so I'm excited about it.
So he was your offensive coordinator for your first 2 years as the head coach.
Yes, sir.
And he was the offensive coordinator for I don't know how many years while you were the defensive coordinator at Del City?
Yes, sir. I think 4.
4.
Yep.
So we're talking 6 years where I imagine you guys are going against each other a lot in practice.
Yes, sir.
And so you really know how he thinks. I mean,
absolutely.
He definitely knows how you think too, but you definitely have an idea of what he is like as a offensive mind.
Yeah. You know, when I was obviously coaching against him, I'm gonna know what he's doing. Coaching against him in practice as a defensive coordinator, I'm kind of gonna know his style and what he likes to do because he's coming and asking me for advice. And then also as a head coach, I'm going to know what he's doing because I'm going to know what my coordinators are doing. So they're going to tell me their game plan and how they want to approach each week. So I know that. So that's exciting. But I think I actually got the upper hand because this is my first year being an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So I don't think nobody in the state really knows what I'm doing because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm learning every week. I'm gaining and putting new things every week. So until I get my style, until I get exactly what my fit is, I think I'm going to keep everybody on their toes and guessing. I think he might have an idea of what we want to do, but I don't think he truly knows because I still don't know yet. Every week is new to me, and I'm just trying out new stuff, taking advantage of these athletes and the speed and athleticism that we have.
Deshaun, I don't know if you know Coach Madonna.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you're obviously going to focus in on Shawnee's offense, particularly their passing game, but all of their offense, I assume. So what do you think about the Wolves this year?
What I think about them, they got a good quarterback who can run. They got number 24. He a good player. He can go to running back, wide receiver. Yeah.
And Caleb, you have to scout both because you play so much on both. Shawnee, what do you think about them on defense? We'll go there first.
I don't want to be too cocky, but they got a good defense. They rally to the ball. Yeah, we just got to keep our head low and do what we can do.
Anything about them on offense that you notice, or you can add to what Deshaun said?
Nah, they got what he said. That's true. The quarterback and the wide receiver.
All right. If you could go and hand the headset one more time, Sincere. And, Coach, anything you can tell us about how the quarterback's going to look?
Well, who, us?
Yes.
As far as who we're going to play?
Yes.
Yes, Sincere will be starting on Friday.
Okay.
Cash will suit up. I just don't feel like he's all the way there yet. There's no reason to hide. I'm not one of those coaches that I feel like you need to hide. So we're going to find out the first play anyway. Cash will be available, but Sincere will be the starter. We got all the confidence in the world in him, and I'm excited to see him go out there and play in his first playoff game. I think he's going to have success like he did in the district championship.
But if you guys win, you're more optimistic that Cash could be available the following week.
Yeah, if we continue to win, Cash, he continues to get healed up and he continues to get to where he could be 100%, he will be available later in the playoffs, absolutely.
Okay, Sincere, it's the playoffs now. Now this is an elimination game. and you get to start. I mean, you're getting more used to it, but what are your feelings about that starting, and what are your feelings about Shawnee?
The feeling about starting, I'm very appreciative, because I worked a lot. I worked hard for this. Coach Jones pushed me to be as good as I am now. And Shawnee, I feel like they're a pretty good team. But I feel like if we come in the game not cocky and not just because we have Dell City, we're just gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the name of our school. But if we come in, play how we're supposed to play and just dominate, we're gonna come out to win.
All right, good
Very
stuff.
well, man. Kind of
Good
shocking
stuff.
me a little bit.
I'm looking forward to watching this game. Playback, of course, I'll be busy during that game. But be sure to tune in, guys. Dell City looks to go for another state title in 5A. It starts with the host Shawnee this Friday. Again, it will be at Dell City. Go to the game if you can make it, but if you can't, it'll be on the Oklahoma Sports Network, the usual. Captain Kilty and Colton Fleetwood pregame at 6:30, kickoff at 7. And it'll be very interesting if you've been familiar with Dell City football the last few years. One of the old coordinators, Jason Madonna, will be making his return and trying to spoil things for Dell City. So that's a very interesting storyline, and I'll be very interested to see how that goes. So Dell City against Shawnee this Friday. Coach, guys, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Good luck
Appreciate
for your
it.
game.
Yes, sir.
Coming up, we talk Carl Albert right here on the Mid-Dell Coaches Show.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
All right, welcome back to the Mid-Dell Coaches Show. I had someone yelling at me here. Welcome back to the Mid-Dell Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're now talking Carl Albert football, and we're going to talk with one player here, and I've been looking forward to talking to this player again. I talked to him kind of over the phone last year, but this is their starting middle linebacker, Caden Davis. Of course, that only begins to describe what he does for the team, but Caden, thank you very much for coming here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you had senior night against Shawnee on Thursday. What was that like? It being senior night, you get recognized, but of course, you got more home games coming up and stuff like that. So how'd that feel?
It felt great. It's been a pretty crazy last really 7 years, including middle school, with all the guys. A lot of us have been here forever. A lot of people say we get a lot of transfers, but if you really look at it, most of the guys have been here for all 7 years through middle school and high school. So it was pretty surreal being just kind of recognizing us and all we've accomplished through our time here. So it was pretty surreal.
Well, when you say transfers, of course, we only 2/3 of the linebacking core. That's all. But now they're big names, of course. But Carl Albert's an appealing place, of course, and you've seen it from early stages here. So starting, let's go this way here. How long have you been playing football?
Since first grade. Played it my whole life. I liked football before I started playing it. My dad played it. It's kind of been part of my life forever.
So your dad helped get you into football, and you've always gravitated towards it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's been, I was a Carolina Panthers fan, and you look at kind of the things that would happen, and, that kind of draws everybody to the game when you see all those flashy plays and stuff like that. So that really drew my love for the game.
So you mentioned Carolina Panthers. They're hard to root for now, I imagine, but back in when you were younger, Like, do you remember them in 2015 when they went 15-1 and made the Super Bowl?
Oh, for sure. That was the reason that I liked them. Luke Kuechly, my favorite player of all time. Cam Newton, Greg Olsen, Christian McCaffrey. The whole crew. But yeah, it's tough. We have kind of a tough go at it right now.
Well, Luke Kuechly, you mentioned him. I never would have made that connection, but I should have, because he probably would have made the Hall of Fame if he played longer. Probably still should make the Hall of Fame. Was he a middle linebacker?
Yeah, he was the middle linebacker for 8 or 9 years. I mean, he'll be in the probably Hall of Fame this year.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, he was really good. So that's a good guy to watch then. So did you gravitate more towards offense or defense? Because I'm sure when you're younger, you play on both sides if you're good.
Oh, for sure. I mean, everybody likes scoring touchdowns, especially when you're younger. But as I've kind of grown older, it's been more of defense. Kind of just been my situation to be able to play there, and now I'm excited I get to play some offense too. But I definitely love defense. I love offense. I just love football. It doesn't really matter where it's at.
So middle school, you're at Cam's, I assume?
Yes, sir.
And some Tristan was there and Trinae, so that's quite that's the other thing that you mentioned before. These seniors, I mean, a lot of them have played together and so talented.
Right.
I mean, what can you say? Because you've seen other senior classes ahead of you that are obviously really good too. But what can you say about the talent of this senior class?
Oh, it's special. It's special. Tristan and Trinae just are kind of the headliners, but Dukes, Oku, there's so many more. Ethan, that he's the best kicker probably of Carl Albert history, but there's so many dudes that have came through, and it kind of just made us build on top of each other and made us all better players just playing against each other, and that kind of elevated everybody.
Well, and you mentioned Ethan, and he told me a few weeks ago he was kicking in middle school. And
for sure.
I'm sure you noticed a lot of middle school teams don't have kickers. Well, they have guys who do kickoffs, but they don't have place kickers.
Yeah, Ethan, we've been playing. He was the guy that showed me in first grade. He's like, hey, we have a team, come play with me. And so we've been playing since first grade. He's been the kicker since not a lot of teams, especially back then, had kickers. But he's been kicking, and he's been getting training and kicking since early elementary, and he's had nets in his backyard, and that kid really puts everything he got into kicking. He loves it.
So at Cam's, which of course is Carl Albert Middle School, were you playing linebacker then, or defensive
I was playing
line?
D-end. I was playing a little both. I was a starting running back. I played some D-end, some linebacker, just pretty much everything. Kick returner, just kind of whatever. I played a little everything.
Okay, so you come to Carl Albert as a freshman, and one of the interesting things that Coach Dunn said about you, he told me last year, he probably told me before that, but I do remember talking to me about this last year, is that you would be like leading the team, and they were able to monitor this in the amount of film you watch.
Right.
When did that start? When did you start studying film?
Well, actually, it really comes from Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly would talk about how that's most of the game is a mental game, and that's what I kind of grew up of hearing. So when I had the opportunity to start watching more, like freshman year, I was only on special teams, so I'd watch special teams and whatever I was in on, and that kind of just grew my love that I can kind of get an edge, because a lot of high school guys don't really care, they're just out here having fun, and I think that really shows to kind of what I do. I feel like I have a step ahead sometimes because people just don't watch film, and I have a little bit more of an edge.
I do remember watching a video about Luke. I think it was NFL Films.
Yep.
And on YouTube, and him saying that how much film he watched and stuff like that. So that's great when you can learn from someone you're admiring like that. And what went with your film watching back to your freshman year? There was a game, I don't remember who it was against, maybe you can tell me, but Coach mentioned this as well, where you told him before this game that you were going to block a punt.
Yeah.
And you did. And tell us more about that, because that's quite a way to make an impression on a head coach. When you're a freshman and you say, I'm going to block a punt, and you do it. So tell us more about that story.
Well, it was El Reno. It would actually be this week.
Playoff game then. It was a first-round playoff game.
First-round playoff game. It was just I saw something on film. I saw that they blocked out, and I was where I was at in the punt block. I knew I had a good chance to get there, and I just said, hey, I got a little edge here. I think I can get it, so let me loose. And they were great enough to let me loose, and there it is.
Okay, and that had to just give you a lot of confidence.
Oh, for sure.
And then the next year, you're on defensive line, D end.
Right.
At Carl Albert, is it strong side, weak side, D end, or do you line up just left or right, or how's that usually?
No, there's a strong side. We call our strong side just the strong end, and then we have the Viper, which is the backside kind of normally how it is, your strong end's more of a stout kind of stronger guy that sets the edge, and your weak side is kind of the guy that can play, a little more loose and can kind of be more elusive per se. But we've always had kind of smaller Vipers going back to my freshman year, so it kind of fit me pretty well.
So you're the Viper. You're the weak side defensive
sir.
end. And you may have, I didn't hear it firmly, but you may have led the state in sacks.
Yes, sir.
Or how many sacks did you have?
I think it was like 20.
For a sophomore to have 20 sacks, and it was full 14 games, of course, because you make it all the way to the state title game, that's pretty incredible. What do you think worked for you that you were able to do that?
I think just kind of seeing the ball off the line. A lot of guys are kind of slow off the line, so you can kind of beat them before the play, as the play's starting. But I don't know, just watching film and kind of understanding my role and working hard with my team. I mean, my teammates on the back end are the ones that kind of give it for you. A lot of them cover it up, and then you kind of get a free sack in here and there. I got my own, but a lot of times the secondary did their job, and it let me do my job. So it was great.
Yeah, so I assume when you say study film, one of the things you look at is how good the tackles are of both teams, and you kind of know their tendencies. Is that right?
Yeah, you can see if they're kind of short-setting guys that kind of step out, or if they step back, if they like how different defensive ends I've handled them through the seasons, what guys tried on them and what worked and what hasn't worked. You can kind of just look at a lot, just kind of where they place their hands or how good their feet are, if they bend at the waist or the knee. There's a lot of different things you can look at.
Now, I know Coach Farley, the special teams coach, said that he keeps his defense out there when the other team's lining up to kick an extra point or field goal.
Right.
So have you been involved in that? Have you gotten any blocks on field goals?
Yeah, well, the problem is this year, we have a really good block, I feel like, on field goal, but we don't get a lot of chances to use it because we've been
I was saying the last
really
3 years. But
yeah. For sure. But, yeah, this year and the year past, they kind of put me as a block guy on there. So I got one this year. I think they've only had on our varsity, they've only had one opportunity of a extra point. They went for two. Lawton did on the second time. So we've only had one, and I blocked that one. So we're 100% right now on the season on blocked field goals, which is kind of a bad stat because it's only one. But
okay, are you still a Panthers fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tough.
Do you have a secondary team?
I like the 49ers because Christian McCaffrey because he came from the Carolina. So
I was trying to allude to the Kansas City Chiefs because the way they won that game made me think about you. Because that guy, I forgot his name, but he was obviously prepared because he was able to bull rush that lineman for the Denver Broncos.
Right.
Is that something you try to do? Because that's not luck. That's a team that was prepared
for sure.
For a moment where they had to block a field goal to win the game. If that kick gets off, it's probably good.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Did you watch that play?
I've seen the play. Yeah. Different teams have different strategies on how they block stuff. So I wouldn't really say that's kind of my strategy, but that is definitely a strategy that works. So.
Okay, so let's go to your junior year.
Right.
You're so good as a weak side defensive end, but they just chose to move you to middle linebacker. What went into that, and what were your – I know you'll play anywhere they tell you, but did you have a preference?
It really was just what's best for the team. I think that when I was playing defensive end, that was what's best for the team. That's what we need. We had senior linebackers my sophomore year that were really good, and going into my junior year, we knew that may have been a weak spot, and I started there my junior year. We played the first few games there. We were running a lot of 3-4 stuff where I was the sub linebacker, so I was playing linebacker anyways. So it was pretty seamless transition. I think we decided like week 3, week 4 that that was the thing we needed to do, and it was kind of just rolling from there.
Okay, so it was about week 3 or week 4 you moved to the Mike linebacker as they call it, but that still has to be really different because it's literally in the middle, and now you go from edge to middle. I mean, that's two different things.
Right. I think I might like Mike linebacker more. I get kind of more control. I don't know, control is the right word, but they trust me a lot. Coach Herbert, Coach Dunn, and all the defense coaches trust me to make the calls and make adjustments and stuff. So being available for them to do that, it really helps that because I'd say if I'm at defensive end, they know you can't see everything from that vantage point. So, I think it's just what's best for the team, and I enjoy it. I love either way.
Plus, it's Luke Kuechly's position.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And then Do you communicate a lot? I'm sure you communicate with all the players, but do you talk a lot to the other two linebackers, Marcus
For sure.
and Carlvion?
Yeah, I mean, they do a really good job. They study during the week, and they know what to do. But I think sometimes in the heat of the moment, I forget stuff, they forget stuff. So us being, interlinked, we all kind of know what we all need to do, and we can all help each other out. So, we talk all the time. We kind of just talk. Marcus has a certain set of stuff he needs to talk about before the play. I have some stuff I need to talk about. And Carl is kind of a free player because he's a little more out of the box than me and Marcus. But when Carl needs something to say, he can say it. So I think we have pretty good communication through it.
Okay, but I also notice, because, again, you wear so many hats, that if it's an obvious passing situation, you might go back to defensive end. Is that right?
Yeah, we have a couple of different personnels that I can kind of get in a defensive end and pass rush a little bit. We have a few kind of our dime package and our kind of three-man kind of rush that works really well too. So we have a lot of different personnels we can get into.
And you have to love that, just doing all sorts of different things.
Oh, for sure. I love just playing football.
Right. But, I don't know how many middle linebackers will then move to DN like that, but that's just part of the what you got going on. And then on offense, I think you were the backup to X last year some.
Yeah.
And then this year, it's not so much running back. They put you in, I don't know if they call it the heavy package or if you have a different name for it, but I know that Daniel Newton was originally doing that, I think, and then he got hurt. How did you work your way into that?
So we have two different kind of things. We got one with a split, so it's a little it's the same thing, but we have a receiver, and then we have one that there's not a receiver. That's really all the difference. So I was the one with no receiver, but Daniel got hurt, and so I was ready to go either way, and kind of just the way it worked out. And if Dan needs to go back, Dan knows he has, I'm good with it. We're good with it. We just want to win. So, yes, sir.
Offense is really the only time you get much rest, though, right?
I got a little banged up during the middle of the season, and I was off some special teams, but I'm back on all of them now. So I don't really need rest. We condition so well, and we put all this work in the off season and on my own time and with my teammates to be able to play all this time. So, yes,
okay.
sir.
But when I see you in offense, I'm expecting you, knowing your defensive background, for you to be someone that's kind of hunting a defensive player so you can run over him.
Right.
But actually, a lot of your highlights have been you running around the edge and outrunning people. I mean, what is your approach when you do that? Because usually when you come in, it's like third and short or something like that.
Well, I think my track background that I kind of really got into this year really helps me with that because I feel like I feel like I'm the fastest guy on the field, maybe other than Tristan, one or two other guys. But I feel like I can outrun everybody. But I feel like I'm a pretty strong guy too. So if I need to get a yard, I feel like I'm gonna get 1 yard or whatever we need, and then whatever that coach came just tells me, hey, after you get what you need to get, and then you go play. So that's kind of the approach I take to it.
Now, it was against Altus. You had your would have been like a career-long touchdown run.
Yeah.
How long was that?
I think it was something over 50, like 55 or 54, something like that.
Yeah. So what works for you on that play? What went on?
Oh, it was just great blocks. I didn't get touched. You can't really draw it up any better than what it is. You kind of have an idea where the play is going to go before the play, and the offensive line did a great job, no run-throughs, and then the receivers they do a great job. That's so underspoken about how good of a job the receivers do and how good Coach Starr and Whiteley do coaching them up to get blocks. Because a lot of teams don't want to do that, so it's really cool to see them block just as well as offensive line.
Okay, and I've had a few different people say this, including Coach Dunn, that if you were a couple inches taller, you would get more college looks. And I feel like you would be a hidden gem for some big program at this point. Is that kind of what you've been told, that's what's keep holding you back a bit, which is something you can't even help?
Yeah.
Where are you at with that?
It's tough. I can't control that kind of thing. I feel like I've done everything I needed to do. I feel like my coaches, you could ask them. I feel like I've proved myself to them.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a business. It's a business. There's not really anything to say about it. It is what it is. Life goes on. It's life.
Well, but you'll have a chance to keep talking to coaches throughout the year, and I know Del City's coach has told me, Robert Jones, that it's hard for some people in your situation because a lot of colleges have to wait for the transfer portal thing to kind of work out. Is that kind of what you're noticing as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different world. There's less. I mean, now there's kind of more spots. It's kind of weird how it works. I really don't. There's not really much to say about it. I don't have a lot of information, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't. There's not a lot going on.
Well, I'll be fascinated to see what happens.
For sure.
But I know your focus is on Midwest City because they're your next opponent. You've already played them once, but they didn't have their number one JoJo at quarterback.
Right.
I know that has to be something you look forward to as a Mike linebacker, a team that has that run option where the quarterback could hand it off, and if he does, you got a good running back in Shaheem Mahmoud.
Right.
Or he keeps it, and he's a dangerous runner as well.
Right.
What's going into your preparation for that?
I mean, by the looks of it, it looks a lot different than anything we've ever seen, but it's the same. The dive man, the pitch man. I mean, it's just it's option football, really what it is. But we just have to. We really work on just being a sound gap defense. That's really what it takes because they're really good. I mean, I've played JoJo since we've been little, and he's really good. He was really good then. He's really good now. And the running back's really good player. They do a really good job. So we're just gonna have to tackle really well. We played them early in the year, but I don't think that's who they are right now is who they were then.
Right.
I don't think who we are then are who we are now either. So I feel like it's going to be a good matchup. They have really good players, and they have really good runners too. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one more thing I should add. Your defense has been historically good.
Right.
You had like 5 shutouts the first 5 weeks or something, 6, I don't remember. And you gave up like a late touchdown to Noble. You only had 2 first-half touchdowns you gave up to Lawton High. Do you guys take a lot of pride in how many shutouts you get shut out at Guthrie, which that was a tough place the year before?
Right.
I mean, what can you say about that, the shutouts you're getting and all the way your guys are responding to your opponents?
I mean, it's nice to get shutouts. I mean, to be honest, the only goal is to win. But obviously, if you get a shutout, that's big time. But I mean, a lot of it's been the young guys that's kind of let up some points. But I mean, they're young. I mean, that's what kind of happens. They need to get in there and get some playing time and experience. That's how I got my experience, kind of getting in there late. So it's really nice that we've been able to be in situations where guys behind us have been able to play. So I mean, it's definitely something we take pride in, and that's kind of our goal going into the week. Let's allow no points, but I feel like that's everybody's philosophy on defense is don't allow 0 points. So
going into Stillwater, getting a shutout, going to Guthrie, getting a shutout, that's very impressive. So a lot to be proud of. All right, let's Alicia, if you would go ahead to the bracket one more time. We've already shown this bracket for Midwest City, but this is Carl Albert taking on Midwest City, and then they'll take on the winner of McAllister and Claremore the following week if they beat Midwest City. And, of course, Carl Albert will have a broadcast as well. Kirk Norman and Coach Goff will have that. 6:30 is when the coverage begins, 7 o'clock kickoff for the Titans and Bombers round 2. All right, Caden, well, thank you very much for coming.
Yes, sir.
It was great to talk to you because there's so many things to talk to you about, and I hope best of luck to you on the field and hope you get some really good attention at the next level.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, you're welcome.
Yes, sir.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk. By the way, I told you off the air, you'd be a really good wrestler, I can tell. But anyway, it's not what he's interested in. But Carl Albert Wrestling is coming up here after this, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger's new Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double.
Sounds like a 5-alarm fire.
Not really, Frank. The jalapeno cream cheese, jalapeno ranch, and pickled jalapenos give it a pleasant heat.
So like a 4-alarm?
Nope. It's a delicious controlled blaze.
Like a little kitty stuck in a tree alarm.
Nah, hotter than that. Let's say the 2.5 alarm Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. I think the pole's broken.
New Whataburger Bacon Blaze Jalapeno Double. It's just a little hot.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, Are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light. You think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes, call Rob and Will.
All right, we're on the air, guys. So welcome back to the Midday Coach Show. Right now we're going to talk, we've been talking wrestling the past 3 weeks, Del City 2 weeks ago, Midwest City last week. And now we talk Carl Albert Wrestling with their head coach and a couple wrestlers. We got their coach, Kurt Hodges, with us. Coach Hodges, how many years have you been the head wrestling coach at Carl Albert now?
This is year 10.
Year 10. And has it changed much since you started? I know you're probably more comfortable in the job, but how's it kind of different now maybe than it was a few years ago?
Well, when we first, kind of took over the program, there was, we were kind of in a low spot, but we've kind of steadily built it up over time. And our first set of kids that came out, we had a pretty small roster, and now we have we have over 30 kids in the room. So it's taken some time, but we've built our numbers up and had some good success. And with that success, more kids are interested, and our little league had 46 sign up, so that's growing, and our middle school is also growing. So we're trending up as far as people and the total numbers that we have in the program. But the type of kid we have now is they're a little bit more experience when they come in. So that's been a good thing for us building up. They've got some little league experience, and they come in through the middle school. So we get some kids that are basically got some skills under them, and so we're just trying to develop those skills as best we can and just improve on the program.
All right, and also the girls program is building up a lot too, I imagine.
Yes, we're getting a few more there. It's been a little bit harder to struggle, but we've had we got more girls out this year than we've ever had. So it's not the greatest number, but we're still working on it. So hoping to improve there.
All right, and you guys won state title in 2023.
Correct.
And so, how has that momentum been going? I know how's it affected your program last year and now heading into this year?
Well, it's always a good thing to win a state title because it's nothing but a positive for your program. And like I said, I think that definitely has helped in the middle school aspect of it, and also Little League, because in the summer times we do open room, and it's open to Little League guys, middle school guys, and our high school guys. So we try to incorporate them into the steps of building up through the program. And we've had good seasons even prior to winning the state title in 23, and the expectations are always high in our program. And when these guys come in as younger wrestlers and they see it, they just kind of fill right in and just continue to build upon that. So it's really a positive thing, and they want to be there. And I can't always say that early on, in the first few years of my coaching that, a lot of kids weren't in there because they wanted to be in there, but we were just welcome to anybody come in because we were just trying to build some numbers and try to get things going.
Okay, and one of the interesting things about talking to other sports besides football, and I don't think football does this as much, although they may do a little bit of this, but when you have an off season, I've noticed other sports will go travel, will go out of state or something like that. Did you guys go somewhere during the off season?
No, we're fortunate at Carl Albert. Our kids are already lifting during the day, so athletes are lifting. So I get a chance to we get to work on some other things and some other aspects of our training in the springtime, because they're lifting during the day even after the season is over. We we kind of take a little bit of time off and just kind of let our bodies and our minds kind of regroup. We have a lot of fun. We play a lot of games. I mean, we still do things that are active, kind of help us keep our shape, and then we do a little bit of freestyle. Mm-hmm. But really, it's kind of it's not as strict as being just going from one to another and then just building. We kind of back off a little bit, and then we do, like I said, the open rooms in the summer, and that way it's free of charge. Kids don't have to pay big money to travel to go to camps and things like that. But for the most part, in the springtime, we back off a little bit and just, get to have some fun and, go from there. So.
And so did you guys go to any events in the summer?
We didn't. We just we've got some guys who wrestle in the summer, like Cash did. He went to Fargo.
Okay. Well,
and things like that. We got some guys that do some freestyle, Braden Masai, and some of the other guys. But we also have a lot of guys who work, and they have summer obligations, and so we have to kind of navigate those waters as well.
Sure.
But I think we've had a lot of success with the open room. We'd have 15, 20 guys in the open room, 2 days a week, so they can come in and work on their skills, and we kind of found that to be productive, and so we kind of like doing that a little bit.
And for the people that watch this, well, probably also watch Carl Albert football.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any football players you're looking forward to bringing in?
Yeah, we got some guys who will make an impact for us, and right now they're, we're totally 100% behind them, and them chasing, the next goal ball. So, they're always going to come in and help us, and but we've all got, like I said, 30 guys in there right now, and girls that are working really hard. So, we'll let them kind of take care of their business, and then we'll see them on the mat.
Okay, and you brought 2 of your wrestlers with us.
Yeah.
Who do we have?
So I got Cash Wiley here. Cash was
which one? You Cash right there.
Cash right here. He was third at the state tournament last year as a freshman, and just one of our leaders. Works really, really hard. Just great all-around young man. And then I've got Kingston Sykes, who's a freshman, who is going to help us as well. Just had a really great career in junior high. Was a junior high state champion, so we're just happy to have him with us in the program, and he's doing a good job every day. So anxious to kind of let him loose under the high school ranks and let him show what he can do.
All right. Well, good to have you both. Cash, what year are you?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore, so you got some youth here.
Yep.
All right. So, Cash, how long have you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling since I was in first grade, so it's been a while. I haven't really been fully on wrestling until about freshman years when I only focused on wrestling, but I've been wrestling for quite a while.
And what made you stay with it, and what made you decide to really dedicate yourself last year?
I think I wanted it more for myself because it just was something I wanted to chase. A state title was the goal, obviously, but I like getting better, and it's the one sport I can't depend on anybody else but myself. So a lot of self-accountability was one of the biggest things for me.
And what weight are you hoping to wrestle at?
120 this year.
120. And are you pretty much where you want to be with that now?
I'm about 8 pounds right now or so.
8 pounds over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that I don't have to make that till about a couple months or a month or so to certify. So.
Is that challenging? Because, you're probably – one of the things is if you're young, you're growing. I imagine some. You're getting stronger, you're adding muscle. So is that challenging to cut down?
Yeah, it is challenging, but I've experienced last year from it, and it helps me actually with my mind stay focused and self-discipline. And I've already got the hardest part over after the cut. Okay. And it actually makes me better because I have to work out so much to lose the weight, so it helps me.
Helps with your endurance?
Yep.
And Coach said you went to Fargo?
I did.
Right? Okay, was that – and I heard other coaches talk about that. It's just an interesting place to have the big national wrestling deal at. But what was that like? And did you go with a big group that – was there a bus involved in all that?
It was the Oklahoma team. It was surreal. It was pretty crazy. It was huge. There's a lot of people there. It was fun. I grew as a wrestler, grew as a person. I think that it's a great experience that I'm so grateful to have. So.
And were there any other Titans that came with you?
No, I think the only other Titan that I know of that's been to Fargo was Casey Miller.
Oh, Casey Miller, of course. He was a big guy, a big-time guy for you last year. Right. Coach, have you ever been to Fargo for that?
I have not been to Fargo, but, the young men getting to go to that, just the experience alone, kind of like he mentioned, that's big time. So that's kind of like the pinnacle of, freestyle and Greco for high school guys.
All right. Kingston, how long have you been wrestling?
11 years.
11 years, and you're a freshman?
Yes, sir.
So we're talking back to when you were 3 or something? Or 4?
4, yeah.
I didn't even know 4-year-olds could wrestle. So how'd you get into that? Was your dad a wrestler or something like that?
Yeah, he was a wrestler. He started in high school, but I started wrestling at Hara because my dad and his friend Miller, he was at Hara. They started a little youth wrestling club, and I started ever since then.
And you love it right away?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Okay. And how do you wrestle at middle school? And I assume, Coach, you're somewhat involved in the middle school program, so you see them then?
Yeah, I mean, we keep an eye on. They come up and work out 2 days a week in our room after we get done, so we get to see our our products coming up. And but yeah, Kingston had some success early on. Like I said, he's a really good wrestler. So saw him win a state title at junior high All-State, and so yeah, he's the real deal. So
state title for junior high All-State. That's pretty awesome. So that was last year?
2 years ago.
That was a 7th grader.
Yes, sir.
Okay, where's this at?
Jim Norick Arena, I think.
Jim Norick. Oh, so that's at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, the big house, as they also call it. Well, that had to be quite a thrill. Was that one of your defining accomplishments so far?
Yeah, because 6th grade I came up short, and I got pretty hungry. And I won it. Ended up winning it. So.
And how did you do last year?
Last year I took 4th. I messed up in the semis, and then third, 4th place match came up short again.
Okay, but I mean that just shows you how competitive it is. So what weight class will you plan to wrestle in?
Probably 165.
Okay, and where are you at with that?
I'm about 165, 167.
Okay. So to maintain weight, do you track your calories or stuff, or do you even pay any attention to that?
No, I just eat.
Just eat?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Coach, what's the challenge like? You got to eat the right. You have to eat. But you got to eat the right amount.
Yeah, it's you got to be really disciplined in wrestling, and these guys, we kind of start talking about it early on in the off season that kind of what you put into your body is kind of what you get out of it. So in that sense of the training and stuff, and if you want to get the most out of practice, if you're putting good foods in you and things like that, then you're gonna your body will respond. And so, I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, Cash, he's not much more, as far as like where he was last year as far as weight wise. So you never know how kids are going to grow because Kingston's grown quite a bit over the summer. And so I'm just, wherever they come in and they fall in, I'm good with. I mean, it's okay. You just wrestle where you're at and shoot, go for it. That's all you can do.
All right, so we're talking about food. Cash, what is your favorite source of protein?
When I was cutting weight last year, really all I ate for dinner was like oatmeal. So that was like
for dinner.
Yeah, for dinner I would eat oatmeal and I'd drink milk.
Well, milk's good. You got to mix something with your oatmeal to enjoy it, right?
Oh yeah, I'd put chocolate chips, or I'd put some peanut butter in there.
Okay,
honey,
I'll probably put peanut butter in my oatmeal too. So not everyone knows about that for some reason, but it goes well together. Okay, and then who do you normally practice against or spar against?
I usually practice with Braden, which is Braden Mixay. I don't know, weird last name, but Braden. He's a junior. Time.
Is he in the weight class above or below?
Yes, he's the weight class 2 above me.
2 above you, okay. Yeah. But you guys are keeping each other sharp, I imagine, right?
Yep.
All right, very good. Kingston, what is your favorite source of protein?
Any type of sushi.
Sushi?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a place nearby that you like to go?
I like Volcano.
Okay. We have to ask them to advertise or something for us.
Yeah.
Okay, sushi, I wasn't expecting that. And who do you spar against?
Michael, he's a junior.
Okay, what is he? The same question, is he a class above or below? Or
he's like right around me. He's probably going to go 57.
157?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you guys have a particular date you're looking forward to? Or maybe you can give me a few dates, like something you're really excited about partaking in.
This Saturday is our first open tournament, so I'm ready to compete in that.
And where's that at?
Westmore.
Westmore, okay. What about you, Cash?
I think my favorite tournament of the year was Allen because we wrestled so many matches, and it's the first right after Christmas break, so it's really the start of the season in my opinion. I think it's where we're like super busy after that, and it's like a good way to start off the season.
So Allen, Texas?
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so there's your out-of-state trip. Then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We've been the last couple of years, and it's a great tournament. There's about 35 teams there, and just like Cash said, you get a lot of matches in, and just kind of get to go travel and bond as a team, but just get away from Oklahoma and wrestle a little bit different.
There you go. Well, so everything up to this point has been like I don't know, they call it exhibition or preseason.
Right. We officially are like our first preseason is this weekend. Last weekend was kind of like the official start. We usually do a couple of preseason tournaments because we do have a lot of kind of more dual schedule this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been practicing, just kind of getting ready to get on the mat, and so we're really looking forward to it. Just kind of see what our practice is going to pay off, and where what we need to do to get better. And so, we don't go into the preseason. We go in there just with it like, hey, this is a good time to learn and just get better. And so, the big stakes are in February, and that's what our goal is.
Okay, so Westmore this Saturday.
Yes.
And do you have anything else going on, like anything?
And we go to Midwest City Open the following Saturday.
Okay.
And then that first weekend in December, we go to Putnam City Tournament. And then we got 3 or 4 duels. And then we're going to a new dual tournament in Claremore. We're going to
all right.
going to go up there and go to a dual tournament. Get, I think, 6 to 8 duels in the 2 days right before Christmas break. So that'll be kind of new, and we'll get to see some of the Eastern teams. So we're going to try that out. And so we kind of like to mix it up a little bit and just try a few different events. So we're looking forward to that one as well.
Do you have anything unique going on during the holiday breaks? Just practice, or like for Thanksgiving week?
We're just working out and kind of like really kind of putting in the extra time to kind of push for that second half of the season, get ready for our tournament. Malcolm Wade's a big one. Like I said, the Allen tournament.
Host,
and so that's when we're going to see what we need to finish or fix upon, from the first half of the season, and then we're going to see what we can do.
So you have something like open gym so they can work off the Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, we every Sunday we have open rooms starting the first weekend of December, and we just and we have a good turnout with it. It's just one of those things that we've instilled upon the kids and get good turnout. And that way we can work on some individual things that we see from film, or just come in and working on getting better at wrestling. So we do that, and on top of our regular practices, sometimes they come up to Little League a little bit, and they can, get a little extra time in there. So, anytime you're in the room, you're going to get better. So,
absolutely. So I ask wrestlers this, guys, and normally they don't have an answer really, which is fine. Maybe I'm just thinking about it wrong, but I'm going to keep trying. And that is, is there a wrestler your age at another school that you would consider maybe kind of a rival, or someone you might be looking forward to going up against?
To me, there's like everyone. You got to wrestle everyone. So there's not really someone on my mind that I'm like kind of like giving them too much attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just kind of focused on the goal, and the goal is to beat everybody at my weight. And that's not the goal is state title, but going through that, I will have to wrestle everybody at least once, most likely. So there's not someone I'm really pondering on too much, but the goal is state title, obviously.
Kingston, do you have a friend who wrestles another high school, or someone that you might get a chance to go up against?
Everybody that I used to wrestle, I've kind of outgrown them, so they're none of them are really at my weight no more. But really, it's whoever I wrestle, whoever steps on the line against me, I look at them as an enemy and just attack them.
Now, Coach, I haven't asked this before because I don't think I've ever talked to a freshman wrestler, but are they ever separated from the rest of the classes, or are they in the same pool as everyone?
At high school tournaments, they're going to be in the same one. At open tournaments, they have the option of either wrestling in junior high still or high school. And depending on kind of like our skill level, we just kind of do what we think is best for the individual. I mean, Kingston, obviously is, we're going to throw him in there with the high school guys and see what he can do. And but we always just kind of look at that first. If they're a little bit more inexperienced or something like that, we might have them wrestle junior high, just kind of build them and bring them along. So it just depends on the individual. But
I could tell, Kingston, you're definitely a high schooler. You've outgrown middle school. So
yeah,
you can just tell. Coach, one thing I didn't ask you about last year, but I think I have come across this. Do you play a musical instrument?
Yeah, I play guitar. Yeah, been playing since I was high school, and so just one of those things, just hobby,
But do you ever get a chance to play live in front of people?
Sure. Yeah, I played a few gigs around. We do a little bit of stuff at Swag, when we're raising money for that event, and I played a few little gigs around here, but don't do a ton of advertising about it. But I mean, every now and then, you might find me out at playing a little bit.
That would be fun. I'll have to ask you about some opportunities there.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. What about you guys? Do you have a hobby or maybe a secret talent?
Oh, I like playing Fortnite.
Okay. You are still a freshman, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the new season came out. It's pretty fun. So I've been on with all my friends.
I'll take your word for it, but yeah, you're definitely a high schooler if your secret talent's a video game or something. But what about you, Cash?
I don't have really any secret talents, but the time I'm not wrestling is I'm usually hanging out with family or, reading my Bible or going.
Okay.
I do some preaching on the side. I've been preaching recently, so I've been working on some sermons and.
We can call that a talent. Maybe not a hidden talent, but a talent.
Yeah, that I preached 3 times or so, and I really love it, and that's what I've been doing on my off time. So that's something that I try to keep my main focus, especially going into the season this year.
That's why I ask questions like this. That's pretty cool. A preacher, or you've been preaching, and you're only a sophomore in high school. Yep. What type of a church do you go to?
So I go to Sunny Lane Family Church. My grandpa has actually been the pastor there for about 50 years, but I recently called to answer the call to preach. So he's been getting me going around a couple places. So I've preached about 3 sermons so far.
Okay. Well, maybe you can preach some to your teammates before a big meet or something.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, any other? I mean, you can pretty much said it, Coach, as far as anything to look forward to. So it's Westmore, Midwest City. Those sometimes they can watch you. What's your first home duel?
First home duel will be against Newcastle, December 10th.
December 10th.
We have quite a few home duels this year. December 12th is Norman North, and then I believe we have one more right before the end of December. Can't remember off the top of my head because I got girls' events in there too. But yeah, I mean, right after that first weekend tournament, we got about 3 duels, and then we got the big duel tournament going to Claremore. So yeah.
All right.
But yeah, we're gonna be busy in December.
A lot to look forward to there. All right. Well, Coach, guys, thank you very much, and best of luck to the season. I wish you a lot of success. All right. Well, we want to thank everyone who's been here tonight. We had coaches, players, we had both, and so great to have on people live. And so just to remind you that there'll be 2 different broadcasts for Midwest City against Carl Albert this Friday, and then, of course, the Del City broadcast against Shawnee as well. All the kickoff time should be 7 o'clock. So once again, thank Alicia for producing and Dedrick for helping move the camera around. And we look forward to being back with you next week. It's the Mid-Dale Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.